Hello guys and welcome to our topic session for today. So today we're going to be looking at timelines and we are going to be organising a timeline which is about the ancient Romans. Now I know that we have already done things about timelines in our ancient Egyptian topic, so we are already a little bit familiar about what a timeline is. But just first I just want to recap what a timeline is and exactly what we're going to be doing. So a timeline is usually used a lot in history to show when different events happened and how they relate to each other, and we can organise them chronologically, which means in time order, and there's usually dates and we can put them on a time so then we know that that happened first and then another thing happened next, and it's just a really good way to really understand a topic. So in our timeline today we're going to look at two different things, and I know that some of you already know this, but we're going to look at something called BC and AD. So have a little think, so I'm going to ask you to pause it in a minute, have a little think about what these two might mean, and then I'll explain what they are, okay? So pause. Okay, so BC, that stands for before Christ, so that's before when Jesus was born, and then we've got AD, and that stands for something a bit tricky, but it's called Anno Domini. And that just means that is after. So we could call it after death. That is after when Jesus died. So in the Western world, so what we live in today, the calendar starts from the year that Jesus was born. And the year that Jesus was born we call it 0 BC. So we're going to move you to my iPad and then we can have a look at the timeline. Okay, so here is my ancient Rome timeline. So to begin with, I'm going to start right in the middle. I'm going to put 0 BC. So that is the birth of Jesus, and I'm going to put that right in the middle. Now, on this left-hand side, I'm going to put BC, because anything before Christ must go this side of the timeline, and anything this side must go as AD. That means after death. Now, the longer ago that something is, the further towards the BC side it must go. So for example, the bigger number of BC, so I'm going to put 1500 BC, would go right over towards the left hand side of my timeline. Compared to AD, which is after death, for example, we are 2021 AD, but obviously now we don't really say that because we're in the Western world. But if I want to put that over this way, so the closer, the bigger the number AD is, the more recent that it is. So I will put, just like I put 1500 BC, I'll put 1500 AD. And then all on my timeline, I might want to put 200 AD. So I will put on my timeline, again, I wouldn't put 200 AD right over here because that isn't really in scale. So I'm going to delete that and I can put the 200 AD a little bit closer, just over here, 200 AD. And if I want to put 200 BC, I would just reflect that, 200 BC. Just okay, so now you know how to organise your timeline. In front of you, just here, there is some events, which are some key events in the Roman history. So you can see that from the top left, you've got 455 AD. 1453 AD, 410 AD, 61 AD, 112 AD, and then you got the Jesus is born, which is 0 BC or AD because it's 0, 753 BC, 510 BC. You've got all these different dates. Now I want you to organise these dates on your timeline. So I have refreshed my timeline, so I'm going to show you what mine looks like, and I'm going to be putting a few of these to get you started on your timeline. So first I have put on my timeline 0 BC, and that is the date that I know that Jesus is born. I'm going to write on mine, Jesus is born. Now if I want to look at my timeline again, I might want to look for the BC numbers, because that is where I'm going to start on my left hand side of my timeline. So BC, so which is the biggest BC number that I can find? So I can find 753 BC. for the building of Rome buildings. So I might want to put 753 BC right at the start of my timeline. That is the biggest number of the BC. So I might put it at the top. So 753 BC. And it was the building of Rome begins. Building of Rome begins. And then I can then look back at my events, and I can try and put them on my timeline. Give it a go, guys. That's just the way that I've set it up. If you obviously you might not have an iPad, you can use just a piece of paper as well. You could just do it online. Each of these on our PowerPoint, they are grouped together, so you can actually copy and paste them onto a Microsoft Word document. You can drag and drop them on, and you can do it via that way. Whichever way that you want to tackle this is absolutely fine. Make sure that you do send it to me via Class Dojo though, or Teams, whichever way that you feel comfortable doing. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you. Bye.